Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carrie and this is my book corner. So, as you can tell by the title of the video, I am going to talk about some of the books that I like to read, like reread over and over and over again. There's quite a bit in my opinion, and I like to go to these especially during reading slumps when I don't know what to read because if you don't know, I'm a mood reader and sometimes I don't know what I'm in the mood to read. So I so I end up not reading anything and it's very upsetting. So during those slumps, I try to go to these books and see what, kind of tickles my fancy and just reread something that just brings me comfort. A lot of these are comfort reads for me. And maybe you'll get some recommendations from this and you can also let me know in the comments what books you like to reread. So these are going to be in no particular order. I just tossed them on the floor in front of me. But I guess I'll start with one that I try to read around my birthday. My birthday is December 1st, and I try to read this book around that time of year, and that is Misery by Stephen King. This is my favorite Stephen King novel, hands down. Hands down. My favorite thing to do is to read it while watching the movie with Kathy Bates and James Caan. Either that or I'll read it and then I'll watch the movie as a reward. I love to do that. But if you don't know, this is about an author who gets into a car accident and he is found by a woman who claims to be his number one fan. And, she doesn't really let him go after taking care of him. I love this book. I know people have issues with it, but I take it for what it is. It's a fun story, and I look forward to reading this every year. I can't wait to read it this year for my birthday, and I just got this new cover, and I think it's absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to read this copy. So this is one of my favorite books to reread. Now, to stick with Stephen King, I got this in my last book haul, if you remember, but Thinner. I've read this a few times already, and I've loved it every single time. The other thing is that I also, after I read it, I watch the movie because I love the movie. Have you guys seen it? It's so good. But this one is about a lawyer, an overweight lawyer, and he gets into an accident and he kills somebody. And the person he killed, her father, basically curses him because he's a gypsy, and he becomes thinner and thinner and thinner, and he can't stop losing weight, and he knows he's going to die, so he has to try to break the curse. I love it. Um, Again, I see people's problems with it, like with any Stephen King novel, but this one, again, I'm just along for the ride. It's just fun, and I absolutely love this. I cannot wait to reread it. I would like to reread it soon, but I'm kind of in a bit of a slump, and I don't know if I'm in the mood for this one particularly, but I might pick another one. But anyway, this is Thinner, and again, this is the newer release cover, and I think it looks so good on my shelf. I have this one facing forward, and it's stunning. I love it. Let's see what else. Okay, how about we'll move on to my favorite author. Okay, my favorite author of all time. You guys know, or at least you should know, okay? And that is John Saul. Okay. The Blackstone Chronicles. Okay, this is technically 6 books in one, or like 6 little novellas in one, because it's not very long. But I have read this quite a few times. I first read it, I think, in high school, and I just fell in love with the story. It takes place in this small town called Blackstone, and there's this abandoned asylum in the town that's set to be destroyed and demolished. And all of a sudden, the townsfolk, the people, get mysterious gifts. So, like, the one is a doll, a locket, um, a handkerchief, things like that. And it's about each person in the town because everyone has secrets. in this town of Blackstone. And I absolutely love this. It's so much fun going along for the mystery ride and going throughout the town and seeing all the townspeople's secrets. It's such a fun mystery thriller, and I highly recommend this. If you haven't read John Saul yet, this is pretty good. I really like it. Now, to stick with John Saul, this is also going to be, this next one is my favorite book of his, like absolute favorite. God Project. I have read this book more times than I can count at this point. I read it so often and I just can't get enough. I'm pretty sure I talked about this in one of my other videos, maybe the newbie tag, talking about like my favorite books and why or something. But it takes place in a small town in Massachusetts, and it's about this family, this mother, and her son. And her son is not normal per se. And it is such a thrilling ride. And every time I read it, I still, my heart starts beating faster and I like can't turn the pages fast enough. You ever get like that? Even though I've read it before, I still, every single time I read it, it's almost like reading again for the first time, even though you know what happens at the end. And every time the ending still gets me. Ugh. You just want to clap and cheer at the end because it's like, it's such a great ending. John Saul has such great endings in his books. And I love this one. This is definitely a comfort read for me. And I love it. I can't wait to read it again. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. I love the God Project. Now, another book that goes along with that, in the sense that when I reread it, my heart starts racing and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, even though I know the ending. This one is True Crime by Andrew Clavin. Oh my God. Now, I first saw the movie before I read the book. Okay, so the movie is with Clint Eastwood, and who else is in it? I can't think who else is in it, but Clint Eastwood is the main character, and I think he directed it too. But that's besides the point. But the movie is really great. It's about a journalist, and he takes over his coworker's story because she died in a car crash, and he kind of takes over it. And she was writing a story about this man who's on death row for a murder, for robbery, murder, or just murder. And the more it's supposed to be like a little feel good piece for before he is executed, right? And he's supposed to interview him and what have you. But the more he investigates and interviews this guy, the more he maybe realizes that this guy could be innocent and they have the wrong man. This book is so good. It's so fast paced because it has to be. They're on a time crunch because his execution date is like that night at midnight. So he only has like a day, or it's like a day or two or something, to solve the case and try to save this man's life, is if he is in fact innocent, to see if he can get a stay from the governor. And oh my God, I've seen the movie at least a dozen times. And when I finally read this book, even though I knew the ending, I was still, again, on the edge of my seat. I couldn't read fast enough. It's so good. It's so fast paced. And you need to find out, is he going to make it in time? Is he going to see if this guy's innocent? Or, ugh, it's so good. It's a thrilling, thrilling ride. And I highly recommend this. I highly recommend it. It's so good. So that's True Crime. And I recommend the movie too. It's pretty good. So there's that. Okay, where should we go next? How about let's just stick with another one of my favorite authors. You guys know is Vince Flynn, and this is Transfer of Power. Pretty sure I talked about this one before as well, because he is another one of my favorite authors. May he rest in peace. But this was the first book I read of his and this is my copy from when I first found it. That's why it's so like raggedy and old. But this was a book that I literally judged by its cover. I'm pretty sure it was Borders, and I wanted a new book to read, and I found this, and I saw the cover, and I thought that was so cool with the little flap, with the flag and stuff burning at the White House. It just sounded so interesting about the White House being attacked by terrorists and like taken over, and this like badass secret agent man has to go in and save everybody. Love it. I love it. And that's what got me started in my love for political thrillers and Vince Flynn in particular. Now I have all his books. And Mitch Rapp is such a dynamic and thrilling character. He's not only is he super smart and of course fit and active and strong, but he doesn't take crap from anybody, especially politicians. He doesn't care what they think. He knows what his mission is and he's going to accomplish it. And that's what I love about that man. He's such a great character. This one is awesome with, the White House being taken hostage basically. It's such it's such a fun book to read. Now, yes, I know they've made movies like this. The ones with Gerard Butler, I think, like White House Down or something like that. And then they also did one with I think Channing Tatum. But I just wonder if this was first and they just didn't get the rights for it or what have you. But this would have been a great movie, honestly. But this was the first book of Vince Flynn's that I ever read, and it is still my favorite that I ever read. I love it, and I love rereading it because it is so long. There's parts that you maybe overlook, the first couple times, and then the next couple times you read it, so you find out, you pay attention to those parts and things come out, and it's just a more dynamic read, and I really enjoy it. So this one is Transfer of Power. So good, so good. Now, little turn. Let's do a romance. I know. Normally I don't reread romance, but this one isn't really romance, is it? I mean, I guess it is, but it's more of a historical romance, and that's Outlander. Okay, not just this book, but I have read the series I think 3 times now, and I am currently reading it for the 4th time, and I'm currently on book 7. I'm currently in the middle of book 7. I've taken a break because there's just so many other books to read, and that one just isn't a priority right now. But if you don't know Outlander, are you living under a rock? I mean, what? Just kidding. But if you don't know Outlander, this is such a it's how do you even say it? It's such a powerful love story that spans the ages. And it's about this woman, Claire, and she's happily married, and she touches a stone in Scotland, and she gets transported back 200 years in the past, and she has to figure out how to get home to her husband. But maybe along the way, maybe she finds a Scottish Highlander who she might fall in love with, and the whole series. This is my favorite series. I don't know if I've ever talked about my favorite series. You guys know my favorite book, which we'll talk about, and you guys know my favorite author, but I don't think I ever talked about my favorite series, and Outlander is definitely my favorite series. The show, I like the show, okay, because I started watching the show first, okay, and I watched the first half of season 1. This was like how many years ago, and I had like a free weekend or something of Stars, and I was like, oh, let's give this Outlander show a try. And I watched like the first half, and then that was it. And I was like, wait, what? Like it ended on such a cliffhanger. And then I found out that they only aired, like the first half of the season, and then there's a hiatus, and then they aired the second half. But I was like, well, I can't wait. So I talked to my husband about it, and he bought me the whole series. Ugh. So I started reading it, and I was already like, how many books in by the time like the second half of the seasons aired, and then season 2, and so on and so forth. I like the books better. Okay. Yes, Sam Heughan is a great Jamie Fraser, no doubt about it. But the story itself, they changed stuff for the show, and it kind of ticked me off because in the book it would have translated very well to television, and I don't like how they changed it for the show. But and I think I'm a season behind. I think we watched, because we don't have Stars anymore, because we wait until there's a sale or what have you. So I'm pretty sure I watched all the way through season 6. So I still haven't watched season 7 yet. And then season 8 is going to be the last season. Oh, so sad. But you know what? It's okay because we have the books and the books are better. So there's that. I could talk about Outlander for for however long you would want me to, but I highly recommend this series. It's great. It's yes, there's dark moments and there's moments where you're like, did she have to put that in? Is it necessary? But as a whole, I think yes, some of the things that she put in, that Diana put in, were necessary, and some of the things you kind of have to look at where, you know what, things like that did happen back then and today. You just don't look at those dark moments as like the whole story. Okay, you have to look at the hope and the light and the positivity that comes through with these books. And I really enjoy watching uh, Claire and Jamie's story evolve and develop and grow over the years. And that's why I love most about this series is that it's, one couple throughout years and years and years and years and years. And I have said how many times that I would love an Outlander book where it's literally just a slice of life, where it's literally just Jamie and Claire living their life at Fraser's Ridge, no drama, no trouble. And I would read like 500 pages of that. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. They always have to have drama, but that's okay. Anyway, Outlander. That was a long-winded talk about Outlander, but it's my favorite series, so I recommend it. It's great. Love, 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 love. Okay, we're down to the last two, and this next one is definitely a comfort read. Okay, this one, it's kind of like God Project, where it feels like a warm hug when I go back and read it again, and it's it's so great. This is Dawn of the Vampire by William Hill. I know, I know. Looking at the cover, you're like, that's a comfort read. Carrie, are you okay? Yes, I am okay. And I absolutely am obsessed with this book and I love it. And I tear up every single time I read it. Have I read it? I've read it more times than I can count. Yes. But there are certain parts that still get me. And I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely love this book. Okay. This is about a group of friends who get together. I think it's like every year or so. They go to this, they go to this lake and they have this whole week or weekend or something where they get together and catch up on their lives and everything. They're like the blood brothers. That's what they call themselves. They're super close friends. And one year, one of the brothers aren't coming because he's missing. And turns out he might have discovered some graves floating to the surface under the lake. And things go from there. Maybe like an evil is unleashed into the town. And it so I'm sorry, this book is so well written. It's such an adventure because you have vampires and then you have wolves, like werewolves, and but they make it in a way. William Hill writes it in a way where it feels like it could happen. It feels like realistic. And that's what I really enjoy about it. And you also really get inside these characters' lives, inside like the Blood Brothers. You really get inside their heads and you find out who they are as people and human beings and you get connected to them. So whenever they maybe get hurt or die, you feel that and you feel emotional towards that. And that's what I love. That's what I love about reading in general. But this book is so good. It's not just like a horror book. It's you really learn about these people and you become connected to them, and it hurts your feelings whenever they get hurt. And it's just a fun book. It's super fast paced. I swear. Like it's like 480 pages and I can read it in like a day or so. Like it's such a great book. And not only that, but William Hill is a great human being. I'm in his group on Facebook or whatever, and he talks to you and you can talk to him about his books and he loves talking about these books. And not only that, but certain people and fans, he like makes them into characters and puts them in his books. I mean, I love that. I think that's such that shows how what a great character William Hill has and how much of a nice guy he is and how much he loves his books. he loves talking about them. No matter what you say, no matter how small it is of a comment that he's genuinely happy that you enjoy his work. And that, to me, that makes a great author, but also a great person. So I love this one. This is one of my top comfort reads. So this is Dawn of the Vampire. And it's super, 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 super great. I love it. Okay. And last, but definitely not least, is my favorite book of all time. Of all time. Best book ever. Okay. Density of Souls by Christopher Rice. Yes, the late Anne Rice's son. He is an author, and he is a great author. And he's a really cool guy. He seems like a really, cool guy in real life, whatever. But this book, this book is so good. I have read this so many times, and this is like my original copy. The cover's like falling apart, like the plastic casing or coating on it, and I have so many things like highlighted and underlined, and I have bookmarks in random places because this is one of those books where I literally can take it off my shelf and just open up to a random page and just read from there. No other book can I do that. No other book can I do that with except for this one. This one is, I don't even know the genre of it, but it's a group of friends, and it's 3 boys and a girl, and they're best friends as children, and then they begin high school. So, the changes that come with that and the changes in their friendship. Their friendship dynamic definitely changes once they reach high school with the cliques and just their hormones and just everything. Also, their personal lives are changing. And it's wonderful. One of the friends is Steven. He's one of the main friends that you really get his point of view from. His father had died, and so it's just him and his mother. He's also, he's also gay, except he hasn't really come out, but like everyone knows he's gay, and he gets bullied for that. And his friends have to deal with that as they get older. And, just, I don't know how else to explain it, but their personal lives definitely take a hit. And this one spans from their childhood, and it goes through high school, and then it goes after high school into adulthood. And it's fun to see how their relationships and how their friendship has changed from children to adults. And there's romance, there's drama, there's maybe some mystery. So there's a little bit of romance, there's drama. It takes place in New Orleans, so you really get that gothic. I just love the vibe that this book gives me. And the characters are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I could just go on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on and on. I love Steven as a character. My favorite character is Jeff. Okay. Mr. Christopher Rice knows how I feel. Okay, and I'll just leave it at that. But my favorite character is Jeff. And I could talk about this all day. I wish you all would read this, and then we can have like a group discussion, because this is my favorite book ever. And it's been a bit since I reread it. I really should read it again. It's been a hot minute since I picked this up, but it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. Every time I pick it up, it gives me the same feelings, and I love that. Like, yes, again, you know how it ends, but it doesn't matter how it ends. It's the journey. And that's probably sounded really corny and cliche, but it's true. Okay, especially with this one. I love watching these people grow and change and seeing their journey as they grow up and dealing with outside forces and also their friend group, what happens within them. Ooh, juicy, juicy. Just saying, just if you read this, get ready. But I highly recommend this. This is like I said, I'll say it 100 times more. This is my favorite book of all time. And I will never recommend it enough. It's so wonderful. If you haven't picked this up, at least read the synopsis, like on the back or whatever, and see how you feel. If you want to give it a shot, and if you do, please, please let me know, because I would love to talk about it with you. Okay. So those are, I'm pretty sure I went through my shelf. Those are pretty much the books that I reread more than any other book. I've read them quite a few times, each of them. And I just love every single one. So down below in the comments, okay, first, if you've read any of these, let me know. Okay. But also, is there a book or books that you can read more than one, that you love to come back to? Like, what are your comfort reads? Let me know, because I love getting more ideas. I do. I love getting more ideas, and I would love to see what you guys love to reread the most. Okay. And like I end all my videos now, I'm going to talk about the book I'm currently reading. Now, I got this in my Aardvark book box, and I got Where You End by Abbott Collar. Okay. This is a thriller. I just started it yesterday. I'm on page 19. Yeah, I'm on page 19. So I'm not very far. Okay, I'm not very far. I started reading at my daughter's softball game, and so yeah, I made it to page 19. But it just sounds really interesting. It's about twins, Kat and Jude, and Kat, they were in a car accident, and Kat ended up in a coma, and Jude just had scratches. I guess she was just in like the passenger seat or what have you. And whenever Kat wakes up, she sees her twin, and she knows her face, and she knows her name, but she doesn't remember anything else. She doesn't know her, she doesn't know her name. She doesn't know where she is. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't remember who she is as a person, and her childhood and her history and what have you. So her twin sister Jude, realizes, well, wait a second, maybe this is my chance to maybe give her a better life than what she had. So I guess she's going to, because she's the only person that Kat knows. So it's up to her to tell Kat who she is and about her history and her family and everything else. And Jude decides to give her like a happy version instead of the real version of what their childhood was like and what their life is like. And I think eventually Kat is going to discover some things that maybe don't make sense or don't add up, and maybe discover that Jude has been lying about who she is and what has happened in their childhood and their lives. And I'm very interested to see where it goes. I thought there was like a documentary or something, I think about like two brothers or something. I could have sworn I saw it on like Prime or something, where it was kind of like the same thing, where one of the twins had something wrong with his head and then he didn't remember. So then the other brother like told him all these lies about their lives. Then, it turns out, like I said, turns out that they were lies. And he found out and what have you. But this sounds really interesting. This was an older book, I think. I don't think this is like super, super new, but it sounds pretty interesting to me. And like I said, I'm on page 19, but I do like the writing. So there you go. And I did get some other books from Aardvark, but I think I'll show them like in my reading wrap up or something. Who knows if I get to them, but so this is the one I picked, and this is the one I'm currently reading. So it's Where You End by Abbott Collar. All right, sorry if this video was a little bit like low energy and what have you, but it's Friday and I'm hungry and I have so much housework to do that I don't feel like doing. But I figured I owed you guys a video because I didn't film and upload anything on Wednesday. So, there's that. I'm still happy. I still love reading. Oh, also, if you can tell, like I decorated my bookshelves a little bit for fall. I don't know if you can see, not much, but I did that. How are you guys enjoying the fall season so far? Is it still like hot? Today's going to be like 80, and I think it's going to be like 80 degrees for like the next like 10 days or something according to my weather, which kind of sucks. But I'm hoping that we're going to have a fire tonight and tomorrow and all that jazz. I'm super excited. So, anyway, enough chit-chatting about random stuff, just trying to keep talking. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Also, if you want, feel free to hit that subscribe button and stick around for more videos from me. I would love to have you. And again, I want to thank everyone who has already subscribed. I can't believe I'm at like 250. I'm like halfway to 500. Like, what? Me? Me? No. No. Me? Um, anyway, so I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you want to check me out on Instagram, same name over there, Carrie's Book Corner. I'm trying to post a little bit more over there. I have not really succeeded, but I do post my stories. So if you want to check me out over there, I would love to have you as well. I would really appreciate it. And I think that's it. Okay? I think I can shut up and stop, talking your ears off. So, without further ado, I'm going to let you guys go, and I will see you guys in my next video. All right? Bye, guys.